ridiculous. Well, here's the thing.
Maybe. Sometimes.
Tell me about this. I want to know more.
Oh, yeah. No.
Holy cow.
We've had a lot of fun.
So I'm taking time out of my Cyber Monday shopping here to talk to y'all. I'm on the trail.
You got started, have you?
We've talked here before about my need for pretty much all the kitchen appliances. And previous to this, I was looking for a foursome of oven, dishwasher, refrigerator, and microwave. And I think I've said here before that they're just going to start going and move to the top of the list. And indeed, the microwave finally gave up its radioactive ghost. And it's just, the light went out, the button would not push.
Insisting that it go to first place.
Yes, it did. I mean, we had that thing. Rick and I can't remember having bought one since we've been married, so we've probably had this thing for 27 years. Wow. I don't know what the lifespan of a microwave is.
Probably a good idea that you got rid of it, actually.
Yeah, I know. We've for a while been thinking it's probably unhealthy to have this old thing still churning away, but darn it, it worked right up until the very minute when it just said, I'm done. So I had to we went to Home Depot to buy a new one. And the kids and I, Rick was working. And all they had was like 3 Magic Chef microwaves. Huh. And I was looking up like consumer reviews of them, and somebody mentioned that they seemed like easy bake ovens, and that was the impression I had too. They just were not impressive looking kitchen appliances. And we have one of these things where we have like a built-in area for it, not over the oven. It's like over some cabinets. So we have a very strict dimensions that we can do. So if I couldn't find one that fit that, I mean, Home Depot had like 500 over the range microwaves and 3 on the counter microwaves, which is what we were looking for. So we went to Lowe's and they had more of a selection, but the first one we picked, they didn't have any more of. And then there was one that I liked the looks of from the box, but the dimensions seemed like it was going to be too big. And Lane and I went back and forth. It's going to work. It's going to work. So we decided to take a chance. It turned out to be smaller than the dimensions written on the box, and maybe even a little too small. So
is it like a teeny baby microwave?
It's like a dorm microwave, I think. It's a little bigger than that, but
Can you at least get
it
a
seems to
plate
be heating
in
up
there?
food.
Can you?
Yeah, it just about fits a plate. Lena said she had a hard time getting the plate out, but she could get the plate in just fine. It's petite, but it does fit in the space. We couldn't have gone too much bigger and still fit in that space. So I'm not sure about it, but so far so good. But it's like now, which will be the next to die? Because honestly, the refrigerator is about as old as the microwave was. The dishwasher, as we've said here before, sounds like a freight train. And the oven has just taken to turning itself off without announcing that. Which means I can't do any baking this Christmas. So, so I'm thinking, well, all these stores have these deals where if you get multiple appliances, you get money off. So I have to measure everything, and I'm looking around the different websites, the different places that have deals, and see if I can just order up something.
Yeah. Best way to shop.
So it's exciting, but it's expensive, and the expensive takes away from the exciting.
Yes.
And also, as I'm experiencing with my bathroom also, you get these things with great excitement, and then you regret them. It's like, I was excited to get the microwave, but now it's not quite what I wanted. And so I know it will be the same with all these other appliances. It will be exciting to get new ones, and then, well, this doesn't work the way the old one does, and there's not quite enough room in this dishwasher, and this refrigerator is weird, and I don't understand how this works. So we have many joyous days. Change is hard. I especially have a household for whom change is hard. None of us particularly enjoy change. So we'll see. But do you guys have any deals you're scouting out on this online sale day? Or are you satisfied with your current possessions?
I need a new laptop, and I feel like I may have said that last year. And I still don't have one because I don't like change when it comes to my laptop. Like, just the thought of all the cookies that are saved on this thing.
That's true.
I will have to, figure out all over again.
See, with Macs, it just transfers right over to the next one. All the crap you have on your computer just automatically follows over. Yeah. It's all in the cloud. It's accessible.
I don't know. So, yeah, it's gonna be one of those things like your microwaver one day. It just won't.
Not gonna go on.
It won't do anything. So I really should be proactive.
Yeah.
Again, I've been saying that for a year. So.
Right, because once it goes, then you can't get all the stuff off of it.
Right.
Well, I do a remote backup like twice a day. So.
Okay. Wow, aren't you good?
Well, you set it and forget it.
Yep.
It's a habit, Terry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, now that everything seems to be saved in the cloud, I don't worry about it as much as I used to. And probably it's the pack rats mentality. Like, the only way I'm ever going to get rid of stuff is if something happens and I lose it.
There's a catastrophic loss.
Exactly. Probably would be just as well.
Right.
Well, Nicole, are you shopping for anything today?
Just, general Christmas gifts. Nothing big. Nothing
Looking
major.
around for ideas of things that you need to have. That's always fun.
Yeah.
But
I'm a little ticked with Hollister because yesterday I bought my daughter something online and it was 25% off, and then I went on today and it's 40% off. So
oh no,
I need to probably put in a call to customer service and say, hey,
yes.
This isn't fair.
Usually they'll honor that if you ask.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. That's finding just the right sequence to buy something so that you don't miss the sale, but you don't miss a bigger discount.
I know.
Is an art.
Yeah. So
I have a few merchants who are always telling me, get this deal before it goes, and then the next day there's a bigger deal.
Right?
So I always just wait.
Yeah.
Well, one thing we will not wait for any longer is starting our podcast. Hello and welcome to Parenting Roundabout, a weekly podcast about the things that parents are talking about, obsessing about, and complaining about right now. I'm Terri Morrow, and with me today are Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
And Nicole Eredics.
Hello.
Today on the podcast, we're going to see if we remember anything on our Friday speed round. We're going to shout out some stuff we like on the Roundabout Roundup, and we're going to do some shameless self-promotion. But first, we are in the habit of podcasting. What other habits do we have? Catherine?
Yeah, we thought we would talk a little bit about habits. Do you have good habits like, backing up your computer regularly?
That is a good habit.
Do you have bad habits that you're trying to overcome, or do you have some bad ones that you've overcome and turned into good ones? I think my biggest success story in the habit forming front is flossing. I didn't floss for a really long time, and then I realized that my gums were in terrible shape, and it was kind of too late to fully repair the damage, but now I am a very, very dedicated flosser, and I do it
for you
very regularly. And as I said, it didn't stop me from having to have some awful gum surgery, but still, I do it regularly.
Well,
so I don't know. That's probably my success story. But
that is an impressive habit.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything that you're proud of, or that you're not proud of?
I cycle in and out of good habits. I have times when I brush and floss like clockwork, and then it falls off. Mm-hmm. Similarly, doing the treadmill, taking walks, many, many, many things. I form good habits and break them with regularity.
So you're good at having new habits, but you're just not good at
I have a habit of breaking good habits.
Yeah.
And that is not a good habit.
So what is your strategy for when you do get in the groove? Like, how do you do it?
Yeah, if I knew that, I could stick with it. I don't know. I get a bee in my bonnet that I'm going to do something. And then I do it for a little bit until it gets inconvenient, and then I completely fall off.
So it gets inconvenient.
Or I freak. It's like if you forget once, then it's like, well, forget it. I'm not going to do it at all. Mm-hmm. I have very bad habit. I guess bad habit. Poor follow through is my worst habit. Yeah. I have good ideas, and then I just never stick with them.
Yeah, I think it's hard to do that. Like I wanted to, I know that in terms of eating, like I eat pretty healthfully, but I eat too much. It's like a portion control thing. So there was a time when I just ate less food. Yeah. I just did it. And I wish I knew how I did it because, I could continue doing it.
Yeah.
I always
found Weight Watchers really helpful for that, in that you're paying money for it, and so you're motivated to write everything down and pay attention to it and follow it.
Right.
And I had really good habits for that for a really long time. And then they changed their program a few times, and it stopped working for me as well as it had. And so I stopped with the thought that I will just keep doing this on my own, and then I completely didn't.
Right.
So being accountable is a really good way to make and keep a good habit. I'm able to give up coffee for Lent because it's Lent and because I said I was going to do it, and I will stick to it to that amount of time. And then I always think, maybe I'll just stop for good after that. But no, once the accountability is over, I slip right back into my bad habits.
Right.
Yeah. See, I'm more driven by guilt. My habits come out of guilt.
Yes. Are you able to hold on to the good habits that are guilt driven, however?
Yes. Yes, I am, because that guilt never goes away. Who gets rid of guilt? It stays with you your entire life.
That's true. I am able to distract myself from the guilt periodically, though.
No. See, this is why I eat vegetables. Or I try to eat vegetables. I'm continuously guilted into it because I feel like, I have to be healthy and stay alive and have a good heart. And yet I despise vegetables. I absolutely despise them.
Staying alive entails eating more vegetables. Maybe that's...
Maybe it's not worth it.
So, I'm very motivated by guilt, I think.
So now is somebody guilting you? Is it like the voice of your mother in your head, or is it you yourself providing the guilt?
It's the voice of probably reason. Knowing that, eating sugar and carbs and protein all day is probably not a good idea.
But they're so delicious.
But, I think I have a little bit of my mother in me. I have a little bit of general society expectations. But and especially with parenting, it was always lots of habits driven by guilt with parenting, like that nightly reading.
So here's a new business idea for us to add to our list. We will call people up who don't have anybody in their life to provide guilt, and we will guilt them.
Yeah. You are not being a good parent if you don't read to your child every night.
And see if they're paying us for it, then they will have that accountability I was talking about.
Yeah,
right. It's like a personal trainer.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can provide the guilt. Terri can provide the accountability. Catherine, what's your role?
Well, and it's funny because I was super faithful about reading with my kids and doing all the things that you're supposed to do to raise a reader. And my daughter hates reading, and she
so does she.
only will do it, when required to for school.
Yeah.
My son is a little better. He does read a little bit for pleasure, if you can tear him away from, Madam Secretary, his favorite TV show.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, no, my daughter uses audiobooks, Catherine. She doesn't even crack open a book.
Yeah.
She turns it on. She presses play on her iPhone.
Well, at least she's getting something.
Well, she is, yeah. But no, my habits are, they're not generally because I'm motivated to be a good person or.
Yeah. Well, parenting guilt is a big thing. I feel that all the time, but it doesn't. There were times in my life I was really. This is the story of my life. I go in and out of things. I guess. There were times when I was really dedicated to making stuff happen, and then it just gets exhausting. Yeah. And, here I am with kids in their 20s, and there's still things I should be doing for them. And I'm like, we should be done with that now. But, so it's like I try, I'm not doing stuff that I should, and I don't know if I should or shouldn't, but it's hard to know. It's never ending. But so at those times, then my personal habits all go, down the hat.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have all this other stuff I'm stressing about. stress will make you break your good habits.
Yeah.
Give you an excuse, the all-important excuse.
Right.
So maybe I have a bad habit of being stressed. How do I break that habit?
Yeah, good luck with that.
That would be very nice. I would like that cure.
Well, have you ever worked with your kid on a habit that they wanted to deal with?
We try.
Yeah.
Not well.
Yeah, I tried.
I'm sort of live and let live.
I mean, I think it has to be something they want to change, not just
you
saying like, hey, you need to start a new habit. Let's do it.
That is true.
If they're not interested.
My daughter just, because she finished golf and she really hasn't had a lot of cardio exercise in her life since she quit the tennis team last year. So, and I've been trying to figure out ways to get her more active. Once again, one of those guilt-driven mom things to get her off the couch and off her phone. And
they like that, don't they, when you tell them things like
that?
that?
Yeah, they just love it. And so, of course, anything I ever suggested just failed miserably. But yet, last month, her friend suggested that they get a gym membership. And I'm thinking, oh, great. This isn't going to work. But they regularly go to the gym together. And
that's great.
I don't know if there's a reason why they go other than to exercise. Because it happens to be one of the main gyms in town. So I'm sure there's a lot of people there their age. Yeah, she's been going to the gym on a regular basis. So I'm actually really happy that whatever is driving her to go, she's making it a habit.
Right.
So
that is nice.
Yeah.
See, it's nice when the friends do it.
Yes.
Because if it's mom saying then it's, do you think I'm fat? Are you saying I'm fat? And then that's fraught, at least in my house, and it's like, well, I would like to not think that, so I'm telling you to do something now. But, I try to instill responsible snacking habits with the young people, and that's not appreciated, possibly because I also don't follow it myself. But still, take a cup of something instead of just eating from the box and things like that. But
yeah,
I think that's a good habit.
That is, I have troubles with eating habits of family members.
Yeah, and it's like if I say don't take a second piece of pie, am I implying that there's a problem? And I'm not. I'm just saying, as somebody who has had to be on Weight Watchers to lose weight.
Right.
One piece is good. That's delicious. I'm not saying you can't have pie, but it's fraught, especially mothers and daughters, I think, is particularly difficult in the breaking habit situation. But, my son still sucks his fingers at 24, so I've not really ever been very good at that with any of them.
Yeah, the thumb habit was real hard for us to break in our house.
Yeah.
We had the pacifier.
Yeah, the pacifier is easier. But because I had one of each. One kid was the thumb and one was the pacifier. And, the pacifier actually was not hard at all when the time came, it's like you say about potty training, Terri, like wait until they're ready and then it worked. But the thumb, forget it.
Yeah, well, at least with a pacifier, you can take it away.
Well, that's what I mean.
The
that's
fingers
why
are just
easier.
always there, and the thumb is just always there. And it's really, you have to make a big, constant deal about it. Yeah. And I just always felt there were more important things to worry about, though I was urged often by different know-it-all professionals.
Oh, yeah. I got it from the dentist when my daughter was 3, which is, an awesome time to do anything because 3-year-olds are super reasonable. And I had just had a baby, so she just got a new sibling. And like, she really needs to stop that. Oh, yeah, you come do it. I'm not doing that now. Are you kidding me? So, I ignored that. That time. So,
wow. There's one habit I'd love for my daughter to break, and that is leaving her clothes on the floor everywhere she goes.
Oh, my gosh.
Something so simple, yet so annoying.
Yeah.
Is that even a habit, or is that just kind of like behavior that is typical?
No. Well, it's behavior that becomes a habit, I guess, if it's not stopped.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you stop stuff like that.
Mine leaves it on the floor of her room, more like. You know, not so much in other parts of the house, but her room. I mean, it's like you would think that she didn't have a closet or a chest of drawers. You know, everything is on the floor.
Yeah.
And then I need some new clothes. I'm like, what do you mean you need new clothes? You can't even handle the ones you have. Which really makes me sound like a cranky old lady.
Oh, Mom.
Which is a bad habit.
You just don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. If it's just tell her no new clothes as long as she keeps things on the floor.
Yep.
And they'll let her make the decision.
Yeah.
I don't really care. It's her stuff.
Yeah.
My daughter's pretty good about that. She's actually much neater about stuff like that than I am. She has many good habits.
And she enjoys
organization.
Doing the laundry, doesn't she?
She does, and she vacuums. And
wow.
She does many things, which is not to say that I couldn't think of things that she should stop doing, but I appreciate the good ones.
Right.
And I see many good habits she has that I do not personally possess.
You know, I think that's a really good way to kind of wrap up this conversation is like, let's just look at the good habits they have.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure they outweigh the bad.
For ourselves as well.
And we always focus on the bad habits, right?
We do. That's right.
So
that's right. Everybody's got some good habits.
Yeah.
Right? Surely. I do for at least like 2 or 3 days. I have recurring good habits.
Hey, it's better than nothing.
That's true.
They're not in a loop, are they?
Sometimes it seems like, yeah. I'm just reliving the same lapses of good habits over and over again in some weird version of Groundhog Day.
Oh boy. Well,
one of the very good habits my daughter has is memory. She has an amazing memory, and my habit is to forget things regularly.
Yes, memory. That's a whole other. See, and I was going to do an intro for memory, and I totally forgot it. So that's probably a great way to kick off our next topic, which is, how is your memory these days? Because I'll tell you right now, mine is pretty much non-existent.
Mine too.
It goes in and then it just automatically leaves, and it's becoming a bit of an issue. So I've got all these sticky notes around the house, and then of course, but you know, if I write it down, then I can't read it because I need reading glasses. So it's just a vicious cycle. And then I don't remember where I put my reading glasses, and it just is an endless.
You need to be one of those people who has like 20 pairs of them just all over the house.
Around. Well,
everywhere.
It was funny because my friend who I hadn't seen in a while, when we had a little visit when I was up in Canada, and we went out to the restaurant to have dinner, and the menu came around, and we both just kind of sheepishly rummaged around in our purse and pulled out our reading glasses at the same time. And I mean, it's a sign, as is, you know, your memory, that your brain is just, things are changing. Things are, maybe life is busier. I don't know, but I don't.
Yeah, let's use that excuse.
Let's use that excuse.
I have a lot on my mind. I'm telling my kids that they are now responsible for all remembering of things, because they both have pretty good memories, and my daughter is really organized about it. So now if I forget anything, it's her fault for expecting I would remember it.
Right.
Nice.
We went when we were going to get microwaves. I had her measure everything, and she had brought the dimension of the microwaves. She'd written on a piece of paper, and she gave it to me to bring to the store.
And you said, that's
such a bad idea. So, of course, we get to the store, and I don't have it. And I start yelling at her, why would you give it to me? You know I can't remember anything. That was a stupid thing to do. And I thought, what the heck am I doing? This is so bad.
So you're saying that your memory is also failing you, Terri? It's not up to par?
Yeah, I just, you know, and I want everybody to know it, but then it kind of freaks everybody out. Why is your memory going? What's the matter? Why aren't you remembering things? And it's like, well, I was never all that great, and now I just large chunks of things are going. So, in the short term, I have lots on my plate. So I have my brain is pretty busy. And so it drops things. And in the long term, I don't know. I mean, I can't remember people's birthdays in my family, which my kids do. So that's great. They're my little computer reminders. And I'm now going to put all responsibility for memory on them. There's something else that came up recently that my daughter remembered but didn't think she needed to remind us because we're the parents. And
I'm like, no.
Never think that. Always remind us. It's like, it's not my job to remember this. It's their job. No, it's now your job, honey. I'm giving you the job. Congratulations. You are the household memory.
How's your memory, Catherine?
It's very bad.
Is it like a sieve these days, or is it still intact?
It's pretty bad, but I feel like I compensate, like Terri and I send each other little reminders, put that, write this down or remember this. And so then I just put it in our script. We've tried lots of ways to keep track of what we're doing on the podcast, but I find that the only thing that works for me is just put it right in the script. And, it's there. It may be there for several months, until we need it again, but it's going to be there.
Yeah, but there's that one Sesame Street topic that just
I think we should delete that because I don't think we're going to do that. But I think my mom told me that she read, or maybe she even heard it from a doctor, like if you forget where your keys are, that's totally normal, and it just happens. But if you forget what they're for, that's when you know that this is a problem. So you're looking at your keys in your hand and you're like, what is this? Why do I have these things? So that you can feel better about your general lapses, I think.
Okay, that's some good advice to live by.
Does knowing what keys do, but not being sure if a strange key shows up on your keychain, I guess that's kind of transitional.
Sort of in between.
I don't know. Sometimes.
There, I don't know.
Yeah. When did this get on here?
I am pretty good about just being on top of writing stuff down or putting things, if I'm in a room and I want to remember to bring something to a different room, putting it by the door or putting it next to my phone because I know I'm going to take my phone or whatever it is. I'm always doing little things like that. Leave the light on next to the washing machine because I have to switch the laundry or, constantly coming up with stupid little strategies like that, I guess.
Those are good habits.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I definitely didn't used to need them, but
yeah.
But it's like you said, there's so much in your brain, there's just not room for more.
Lots of tabs open, that's for sure.
Yes, exactly. Many, many tabs.
Yeah, that's actually what I feel like a lot of the time. I feel like a computer that just gets to that point where the little wheel is going around and around and around.
Yeah.
Too many applications open, too many tabs in your browser. Shut down, start over.
Yeah.
And hope you've backed up.
And at any point, you can set something to be on autopilot. Do that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I'm starting to do that with my bills these days. I never used to be a person who got my, the money automatically withdrawn for my bills.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting to do that because I'm forgetting.
But then you have to remember to have enough money in to pay them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I appreciate the, we talked about email apps, the inbox from Google, which has something where you can put an email to sleep for a little while and then have it pop back into your inbox. So I do that with bills so that I remember. And sometimes I sleep it a bunch of times and then it keeps popping up and then I have to do it. Because otherwise I would forget for sure.
Yeah, good idea. Well, let's just hope that whatever our listeners are forgetting these days, it's not forgetting to listen to our
That's right.
Every Wednesday through Friday.
That's right. Remember the new schedule. And
that's right.
And please listen. And now we're going to bring you some of the things we've read or seen or used recently that we want to shout out and share with you. Catherine was so nice to put down something I told her that I wanted to remember to mention, and then I'm mentioning something else. So.
I knew the only way I would remember.
But thank you for writing it down. Thank you for writing it down when I asked you to. I appreciate that. Catherine, what are you sharing for today?
Well, we have recently noticed at our grocery store, they are doing some of the dinner meal prep kits. So similar to the kind that you can get as a subscription box, but we can just pick them up right at the grocery store, and there's a little bit less packaging, and and you don't have to order, in advance. So you can just pick them up. It kind of depends on what they have, because it changes and from time to time, but it's been good for us, just grab a box and it's got everything you need for a meal. And they're usually pretty simple. I mean, sometimes they're too sort of simple and basic, but it's better than trying to think of what to make and then find out the ingredients. So that's
with your 100 cookbooks, as we recently discussed.
Is that a national grocery chain?
Catherine, no, this is at Festival, which I think is kind of a regional store. Okay. But I wouldn't be surprised if other stores do it. So it's at our store. They keep them in the deli prepared food, across from the salad bar. This store has a whole right. It has the deli counter, which has a lot of prepared stuff, and a salad bar that also has a hot food bar and sushi and all that stuff.
Okay.
So that's been helpful to us recently.
Nice.
Very cool.
Sounds good. How about you, Nicole? What are you sharing?
Well, mine is something a little similar because I've recently tried something called Instacart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And it's basically you have a personal grocery shopper. So you just order online what you want from your local grocery store, and then they send out a grocery or somebody who does the shopping for you, and then they deliver it to you. And there's a small service charge, but you can go online and get a coupon to waive the service charge.
Nice.
And they'll go to, in our area, they go to all the major grocery stores.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's great. It's and I ordered it. Sorry. My dog is trying to get my attention. And I'm trying to forget she's there. So I ordered it online on Friday, and it came within 2 hours.
Wow.
So much better than Amazon. Okay, I didn't say that out loud.
I used it I used Instacart one time when I was on a skating trip, and because I was in charge of getting a lot of snacks and breakfast foods and things for the kids, and we were flying there. It was when we flew to Portland, Oregon, so we couldn't buy it in advance and bring it with us. So we went online, a couple days before and ordered everything and set it to deliver within a certain window right to the hotel. And that worked out pretty well. Although when it was time for the person to do the shopping, they were texting me every couple minutes, they don't have this brand, but they have that brand, or they don't have this size, but they have that size. Can I get it? So
no,
it
was almost as labor intensive.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't matter because I was just sitting on a bus anyway. But I just thought it was kind of funny. We're gonna really ask you a bunch of questions. Make sure you're getting what you want.
Yeah.
Well, and my recommendation for this week is an app I've had for quite some time, and as is my way, have been in the habit of using and then not using repeatedly, but I'm in a cycle of using it this week, so I'm going to mention it. It's called Tide, and what it is, it's a focus app. It uses a system, I think it's called Pomodoro, where you work for half an hour and then you take a 5-minute break, and then you work for half an hour, and then every 4 breaks there's a 15-minute break. And this app has a little, graphical thing so you can see the time of your half an hour go down, and it will play various sorts of noise, a cafe or the woods or water or music, which is what I use, even though it's the same thing over and over again. And I find it's really good when I'm if I have a lot that I need to a lot of work that I need to do. And I set it and I, make myself work for a solid 30 minutes. Right. And then knowing that I'll have a break. And it, when I'm in the habit of using it, it works for me really well. And then I forget it's there. And then I go back to my old habits of, I finished a page. I can now go on Facebook for 15 minutes and color something in on Sandbox. And then I'll get back to my work. So this makes me work for 30 minutes before I do that. And I often find that when the 5 minutes come, there's really nothing that I want to do. So if you are in the need of focusing, I recommend it. It's called Tide.
Okay.
Very good. Well, now for our final segment, we are going to do a little shameless self-promotion and direct you to some things on our sites that we think you should take a look at. So I will go first. I have a newish piece on highlights. It's about preschooler fears. And it includes not just dogs and monsters, but the automatic flush toilet.
Oh,
yeah. Because, right, didn't we all go through that with our kids? Like, don't make me go in there. It's the flusher.
Yes. Are we done with that fear? I still don't like them.
So, anyway, that's available over at Highlights. And, Nicole, what do you have?
Well, surprise, surprise. No, I'm just kidding. Just going to talk about my book.
Your book. You wrote a book.
Yeah, my book. Which is available for pre-sale. And so the news this week regarding the book is that you can get 10% off it by using the code Eredics, which is my last name. So if you pre-order before, I think, March, I want to say, you can get 10% off.
So that's a good long time that you can use that.
Yeah.
It's a good long time. It's that code works.
Yes. Yeah, they've extended it for quite a while. So that's really
cool.
Good. And they've actually, so you have to actually go to their website. You can't use the code on Amazon. You have to go to the website brookespublishing.com and buy the book from there. So,
nice.
Awesome.
That's my self-promotion.
And will be for the foreseeable future, which is just fine.
Yeah, heads up.
And deservedly so.
How about you, Terri? What are you promoting?
Well, I haven't actually done anything on any of my personal stuff, but I just want to remind everybody that if you enjoy our quote graphics from this podcast as you see them go by on Twitter, they are all also living on Facebook, and you can go find them and look at them and see something that you like and share it with your friends. So go check that out. If you go to our Facebook page, Parenting Roundabout, and look under photos, you will find several albums of them. Many, 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 many quotes to look through. So, if you need to kill an afternoon.
If your app says it's time for a break.
To fill those 5-minute breaks on your Tide app, just go read through our quotes. Share them with your friends.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's it for this week's episode of Parenting Roundabout. We hope you enjoyed it and that you'll join us every week. And you can listen to podcast episodes on parentingroundabout.com or download them from Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe so you get all of our podcasts and mini podcasts. You can also follow us on Twitter, where I am at Nicole Eredics, Terri is at Mamatude, and Catherine is at C. Haleko. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter at Roundabout Chat and look for us on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, YouTube, and Instagram too. Best of all, stop by our podcast page at parentingroundabout.com and read recaps, find links on all the stories we mention, and talk back in the comments. Thanks to John Moran at johnjmoran.com for providing our in and out music, and I wish everyone a great week.